All right, joining us now for more, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Stephen, great to be with you again. This AP poll that came out a couple days ago, 81% of voters think there is too much crime in our cities. Only 1% say it's not a problem, which is an absurd number. Can I just get your reaction to Democrat governors like J.B. Pritzker and Gavin Newsom attacking you, attacking the National Guard, attacking Donald Trump, instead of attacking the crime in their actual cities and states?
It really is mind-blowing, Rob, that the Democrat Party has sided with the 1% of the country that thinks that crime is not a major problem in our big cities. I don't think I can ever think of an issue. Look, we know Democrats have chosen some 5% issues, some 10% issues, some 20% issues. They've chosen a 1% issue, Rob. So Governor Newsom, Governor Pritzker, the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Johnson, other leading Democrat officials have said that crime is not a problem. They are 1%ers on this issue. And by the way, it's not just crime, it's also the filth, the chaos, the disorder, the homeless camps, the migrant camps. You know, I grew up in Los Angeles. The city that I grew up in the 1980s and 1990s, doesn't exist anymore. Everywhere you look, there's needles and druggies and criminals and vagrants, and people are getting robbed and mugged and murdered. You know, it's supposed to be this beautiful coastal community, and it's been turned into this mess of violence and trash and crime. I mean, literally, the streets are littered. You know, I'm talking about trash. I mean, literal trash is strewn across the streets and never cleaned up. That's no way to live. Now, by contrast, look at what President Trump has done here in Washington, D.C. The streets have never been cleaner. Union Station, the crown jewel of the city, is pristine. Graffiti has been scrubbed off the walls and the bridges and the public and private buildings. And violence is lower than it has ever been in the recorded history of this city. Do you know, Rob, that historically in D.C., someone was murdered in this town every 48 hours? Every 48 hours, on average, someone has been murdered in D.C.
Not if you
until
read
President
the Washington
Trump declared
Post.
his crime emergency.
Yeah, the Washington Post. So we went 12 days without a homicide in the Capitol, which is the first time in more than a decade. The Washington Post this morning, how rare was D.C.'s 12 days homicide-free? Not as rare as Trump says. So no matter what Donald Trump does, the legacy media, we used to call them the mainstream media, they're not mainstream anymore. No matter what he does, they are against it. What does that mean in 14 and a half months when the Democrats are trying to win elections again?
Yes, well, look, very importantly, there have been, so the police have been on the street, the military's been on the street, federal cops have been on the street. There have been no public slayings, no public killings. Look, every homicide is tragic, but nobody out on the street, the way that has been happening in D.C. forever, has been slaughtered, has been killed. No stray bullets and any drive-by shootings have claimed any lives. No gang shootouts on the street. That has never happened before, and that is what President Trump has achieved. It is nothing short of miraculous. This issue is going to figure so prominently in the midterms because there's never been a starker contrast. Look, the Democrat Party, as an institution, has put all of its time, energy, money, emotion, and passion into promoting the interests of the criminal class of this country. An entire institution dedicated to gang members, street predators, violent offenders, and criminally legal aliens.
Right.
And so their Democrat judges set them free. Democrat prosecutors won't put them in jail. Democrat nonprofits give these street killers free legal representation. Democrat politicians slash police, tie their hands, don't let them arrest anybody, don't let them jail anybody.
Yeah.
At every level of society, the Democrat Party sides with the criminal over the citizen. This is going to be the central issue coming up in the midterms? Do you want to live in safety, or do you want a reign of terror by criminals coddled, protected, loved, sheltered, shielded, and cared for by the Democrat Party?
All right, let me just get you, and I don't know if you had any conversations with, right now, it looks like 2028, maybe J.D. Vance is the nominee. Maybe it's somebody like Marco Rubio. We don't know. We don't have to talk about it. It's 3.5 years away. But I don't know if they're afraid of people like J.B. Pritzker and Gavin Newsom and some of these other Democrats, Mayor Pete, who most certainly will be getting into the race. Let me play you a portion of a soundbite. This is what Democrats think is the winning message. I've played this all week, and I have not seen you react to this. Take a listen.
Bonjour, Lindy Samek Nindigenous, Amek Dodam, Saginaw Chippewa Dojaba, Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. Good morning, DNC members, friends, and relatives. Let's talk about the land for a second. The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history.
What a way to get a crowd jacked up by telling them they're all on stolen land. Did you know the White House is on stolen land? The British stole it first, and then we stole it from the British in 1776. But how about that for a crowd pleaser and a good way to get people to spend money and donate?
Look, the Democrat Party is an extremist organization. It's not a political party. It's an extremist organization. They don't believe that America should even exist. I mean, you heard that. They think that we should surrender our title to the land that was won with the blood, sweat, and tears of our forefathers.
Right.
I mean, this is a party of lunatics. And you want to talk about who the land belongs to. They believe it doesn't belong to American citizens whose families built this land. They believe it belongs to illegal aliens who invaded this land. In their view, an illegal alien who's been here for 1 hour has more rights than an American citizen whose family has fought in our wars, who has bled and sacrificed for this country. The Democrats' formal platform is to dispossess American citizens of their own land, their own heritage,
right,
their own community, their own country, and give it to people who have no legal right to even be here, Rob.
Yeah.
That's how insane this has become. And when those invaders commit crimes even, they set them free. When they're charged even with serious crimes, they set them free in sanctuary cities. That's what we're talking about, Rob.
Stephen Miller, enjoy the weekend. Great to have you on again. Thank you.